Business is your local business and community affairs program that is dedicated to highlighting the work of entrepreneurs, business owners, and businesses that serve the residents of East Orange, New Jersey community. I am Anna Banks, your host. And today's program is sponsored by Thrive Leadership Institute in collaboration with the East Orange Business Association. The show airs right here on Tuesday evenings at 6:30, but tonight we had a technical difficulty, and so we are going live right now at 6:40. The show will also be aired on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Our show tonight is going to focus on just something that's a little bit different, but I want you to realize that the title is quite indicative of our guest tonight. And the title of our show is Nonprofits Are Businesses Too. And as our guest in the audience in our studio today, we have Christopher, aka Chris Johnson, who is the CEO of Grades for Life. Now, Chris is no stranger to East Orange and our East Orange business community. But let me just tell you a little bit about this young man. First of all, he uses his passions, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. His passions to drive and inspire others. He was born in Plainfield, went to King College, King University. I'm dating myself. King University, where he got his bachelor's degree and then later graduated with an MBA from Sanitary College. His motto is go to bed with your dreams and wake up with your purpose. Now, let me just say that one again because that one really, really inspires me. His motto is go to bed with your dreams and wake up with your purpose. Oh, I like that, Chris.
Thank you.
A few more things about him. His dream has always been to make a positive impact. And he set out to do that when he founded a nonprofit organization called Grades for Life. Now, Grades for Life is a nonprofit 501c3 organization that is dedicated to facilitating programs and technology for local schools and organizations. The goal of Grades for Life is to provide additional opportunities for youth to succeed by working through local communities and community partnerships. So welcome to Spotlight on East Orange Business, Chris.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's great to be here.
Yeah, well, look, I am delighted to have you here, and especially, when the technology has a moment, we'll just say.
A moment.
It's always good to have someone who is acquainted with technology to you just understand, and we just reboot and we just keep it going, right?
Keep it going. This what it's all about.
That's exactly what it's about. So, Chris, let's just start the conversation by just asking, first of all, what made you decide to start a business, and then secondly, to start a nonprofit?
Well, that's a great question. What made me decide to start a business? I think just business ownership has always been something I've been passionate about. Who wouldn't want to be their own boss, right? So I wanted to start a business. Well, I mean, in concept, in theory, you're going to be the best boss that you could have, right? So I want to start a business. And for me, what made me start a nonprofit is once I figured out exactly what the business is that I want to start. I felt like I could make the greatest impact as being a nonprofit, being able to get into communities, really partnering with the communities in a certain way to really move the mission, so to speak. So I had to learn a lot about nonprofits, and that led me to starting Grades for Life.
Okay. So now, did you already have a business before starting a nonprofit? Tell us about that.
Um, I've had businesses in the past. You know, when I was a kid, I started businesses. I remember being with my friends. We tried to start a computer business. That was the first business I ever had. It didn't work out, but I learned something. Then from there, had other like little small businesses. So Grace for Life is the first, I guess, major scale, that I really wanted to start, where I like really thought about the idea and really pushed it out there. But it allowed me to really think about business in a certain way. So I do have a for-profit business that sort of works in conjunction with my nonprofit as well.
Okay. And what is that? Just so that, we might as well get that out on the table.
Yeah. So what's interesting about what I was able to do with Grades for Life is we were able to make a technology, like our own technology platform. That we use within the school districts, within the school system. So this business is really related to the technology and how we could expand on it.
Oh, okay. Great. Great. So and now, Chris, have you ever worked in corporate America?
Yes, yes. I've had a job ever since I was the age of 14. So my first job, I think my first job was like Burger King, something like that. Then, I worked dating myself, right? I worked at like Radio Shack, something like that. Then more corporate, I worked at Verizon Wireless,
Mhm,
I worked
mhm.
there for a long time. I was a manager, I was a solutions manager, spent a lot of time working that phase. So that would be probably the bulk of my experience. But I also worked for other companies. I was a area field manager for U-Haul. So I managed like a territory, things like that. So I've had a couple different corporate jobs.
Okay. So, the reason why I was asking that is because, sometimes people start to think about like if they've been in corporate, and then, it's like, I think I want to do something else, or they've always had that desire to start their own business. So, when did you know, or when does one know when it's time to transition from a corporate position to business ownership?
It's a great question. I mean, honestly, I think it's different for everybody.
Mhm.
Um, being in corporate is great. You have the consistency of a salary, you have your benefits, you have everything like that. So being in corporate is great. As far as transitioning to an entrepreneurship position, it's really depends on having your business. So you have your business in mind, and when you feel comfortable to make that leap of faith, to now transition so that you know that you're going to be sustained with finances. And for me, it took a while, right? I was a lot of time for a long time. I was doing the dual. Actually, just 2 months ago, I left my corporate position to focus fully on my business.
Mhm.
Which was a big leap of faith, right? And what led me to that leap of faith was just knowing, okay, I have these contracts. I can float this, and it looked sustainable for me to be able to make that position. But I think it really is different for everyone.
Yes, yes, I can imagine that it is, depending on age, education, and a lot of other things. So if someone were to ask you, "Hey, Chris, what kind of tips can you give me if I was looking to start a business or a nonprofit?" What would some of those things be?
Well, so I would definitely let them know, the first and foremost, have your concept and your vision. You want to start with a plan, right? So another thing that we do with Grace for Life, we also teach youth entrepreneurship to students. So I'm used to teaching, youth, but also these, the same thing translates to anyone who wants to start a business. So you want to have your business plan. You want to have that in mind. Write it down, and keep in mind that your business plan is always going to change because your business is going to change. So use that as a living document. And once you have your idea, think about how you're going to execute it, and then you can move forward. Sometimes you may not feel like you're ready, but go forward, because you'll figure out along the way what you need to do.
Okay, so have a vision and a plan.
Right.
Anything else?
Yes, I mean, like, you'll want to do everything incorporated. You want to do everything, get your EIN. You want to make sure you do all the business documents. Make sure you have all your business document, and then from there, once you have your business, depending on what it is, you want to create partnerships that are going to use resources around you to really help you sustain. So not only do you want to have your business plan, once you have that, once you've done all that, put together your marketing plan. Right now, how are you going to get together your word? How are you going to get that out to the community or whoever your audience is, and then build on it from there?
Okay, that sounds great. So, you mentioned a couple of things that, well, I could say could seem like barriers. So
Mhm.
could you just kind of share, in addition to, not having consistent income or having ebbs and flows,
Ebbs
maybe
and
I should
flows.
put it like that.
That's
Ebbs
it.
and flows in income, unlike with your corporate position,
Mhm.
or if you're an employee, let's put it like this: whether it's a corporation or whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's government, whether it's school, if you are an employee, there are certain things that you can expect your employer to give you, or for you to earn.
Right.
However, as a business owner, there are some other things that we may have to consider. And so, what did you think is the largest barrier, or some of the largest barriers to business ownership?
I, I think first and foremost, definitely what you mentioned about the ebbs and flows, right? So understanding your business market, where that is, because there are going to be ebbs and flows. When you have that corporate job, if your boss doesn't pay you in 2 weeks, you're knocking on his door and being like, "What's up?" Versus, when your own business, if you don't get paid in 2 weeks, you have to knock on your own door and say, "What's up?" with yourself, and
Mhm.
really reevaluate your business plan. So I think the barriers to success are more so just making sure you have the plan fleshed out, believing in yourself. A lot of people, sometimes it's hard to, when you do have those ebbs and flows. Sometimes people do get down and unsure of themselves. You have to really have a plan and execute on your plan.
And what part does mentorship play in business ownership, and especially for a young millennial like yourself?
Mentorship is everything. I wouldn't be able to do, along the way, like, I guess I thought I had some of it figured out, but really, it took me getting mentors to be like I had nothing figured out. So once I was able to get mentors and people who have done what looking to do before, or people who have done something similar, they were able to sort of guide me along the right path to be able to being able to start thriving, as your show mentions.
Yes. Okay. I
Better.
I I I like that. Because mentorship is very important. And also, isn't that what you provide with Grades for Life?
Yes,
One of
yes.
the
So,
things.
so understanding the importance of mentorship, because people have done it for me. I want to be able to give that back and connect some of those mentors to some of the youth that we help start businesses, and also provide mentorship. So now that's what I do with some of the youth that we help them to create businesses, and then we provide mentorship along the way to help for continued support.
That is such good news, because I think, um, having young entrepreneurs, especially that have, capable and authentic mentors, can make the difference between whether a young person, goes left or right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it also provides them with a certain level of self-confidence and self-esteem, and knowing that they can make their own money early in life without having to necessarily go and, um, knock on someone else's door or beg for a job.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, like, one thing that I see, especially like with youth, and I think it plays out as adults as well. A lot of them, it's a confidence thing. So believing that you can start a business. Maybe they haven't seen someone who've done what they want to do before. So that becomes a barrier. So you mentioned barriers. That becomes a huge barrier because like, I don't think I can do this. But, being able to provide support and mentorship, now it's like, okay, I've had kids and it feels good, right? When they start a business and they say, you know what, I I really didn't think I can do this. And now they're like actually making money and doing things like that. It definitely feels good to be able to provide that mentorship and and see them start to thrive.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think that you're really doing an excellent job with Grades for Life. So let's talk about that organization just a little bit more. What do you think is the organization's greatest achievement? Because we're still on the theme of um, nonprofits are businesses too, and so with a for-profit organization, a lot of it is, yes, it's about servicing their customer, but their bottom line is usually about also making money. Sometimes that's their primary focus. But in an organization like Grades for Life, what do you think is your greatest achievement today?
Yeah, I would say, having the programs and setting up the program so that we can make impacts in communities is definitely like our greatest achievements, because then, for us to be able to come into like an East Orange, right, and be able to provide programs for students and provide support, mentorship, things like that, that's definitely a great achievement and something that we love to do and want to continue building on.
That's wonderful. So, let's just talk about goals, because you mentioned that when you were explaining about your young people didn't think that they could do it, and now you see them, not only growing but making money in their own business. So, what are some of your goals for Grades for Life?
Some of my goals are to, continue along the line so I use this tagline like connecting communities through education, because we have the platform that uses education to basically start to connect communities, connect businesses, connect you know organizations. So some of my goals are be able to go into different communities and continue to grow that and continue to make an impact.
Okay. And so what's next, Chris? What's next?
What's next? What's next is to continue along those lines and expand throughout New Jersey and beyond. So
So
that's the goal, to expand on our entrepreneurship program and also expand on our rewards program that partners with businesses.
okay. So share with our our viewing audience, how many locations are you in beside East Orange?
So right now we work with Seton Hall Upward Bound. I'm going to shout them out. We work with UCC Youth Build in Newark. We work with Somerset Community Action Program in Somerset, Franklin School District, and we have partners in South Jersey as well. So we're looking to continue expand beyond that as well.
Okay, look, that sounds, because our kids really, not our kids, but our youth. Let me just put it like this: our younger people really do need, role models and people like yourself that they can model themselves after and that they can learn and grow from. So really, just keep up, the excellent work that you are doing. If you were going to write a book, though, Chris,
Okay.
what would the name of that book be?
So it's funny. I mean, on the personal side, that's one of my next goals, right? So I wrote a kids book, right? So like I'm going to release a kids book and start that, and it's going to be about entrepreneurship.
It
I'll
is.
have the name for you yet, but I'll get the name for you soon.
Okay, well, look, as soon as it's published, please, let us know first here
Okay,
on
I definitely will.
East Orange Business, and we can bring you back on and at least be one of the people that debuts the book, and
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good to me.
into the community, because our families, parents, schools, and our youth, they need to be able to read more things about themselves and what they can do, and from someone that looks more like them.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks so much.
So, just going back to like the whole notion of just business in general, what have you learned that you can share with our viewing audience about nonprofits, um, in general, and probably even more about really starting their own entrepreneurial journey? Now, we've touched on a couple of those things, but I just want you to be able to expand on that.
Sure. I mean, like, there's a lot that I've learned. I mean, like when just thinking back, when I started, really didn't know much about the world of business, especially that as much as I thought I knew.
And
But
that's even with an MBA. Oh
yeah,
my.
yeah. Even with MBA, there's book knowledge and practical application, which is a little bit different, right?
Tell the truth.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. So I was able to learn a lot just starting a business, honestly, like, starting, like, you have your business plan, and maybe you want to stick to your business plan. You have to be fluid, I mean, and change with the market, because the market changes. You can't say, oh, we're going to do this one way. People who don't, if you don't change with the market, then you get left behind. So you look at I think about Netflix versus Blockbuster, dating myself on that. If you guys know about Blockbuster did not change with the times, and now you guys don't even know about Blockbuster because it didn't change with the times. So I think just understanding to be fluid, change with your market, understand your market and where you want to go, and being able to be flexible enough to get there.
Okay, that's great. That's great advice, and great learnings that can pass on not only to our youth entrepreneurs and our millennial entrepreneurs, but some baby boomers and beyond,
Yeah.
that are looking to start businesses, because many even of your baby boomer, echo boomer generations, they're coming out of work right now. They're retiring from work, but they find that they really are too young to retire, not in age,
Right.
but just in how they are feeling about, I may have another 20, 30 years, and I want to be able to get paid for some of the things that I know how to do or am willing to learn
Right.
to do. Everything doesn't have to be a volunteer.
It doesn't have to be a volunteer. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a volunteer, or even volunteer can lead to paid. I mean, like, if you do something, with no pay, somebody's going to be willing to pay you for what you do because you have the passion.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that and I think that's it. And I think that's one of the things that your expression of passion in Grades for Life really exemplifies, I should say. That's probably the word that I was really looking for. It does exemplify how you can use your passion. You have a passion for youth, and you've been able then to take that, to turn it into a business, even into a nonprofit, and then to now not only be here in East Orange, but in other communities, throughout the state. And I think, again, that is so admirable, and I applaud you. So this comes to the time in our show that I always like to play what we call Would You Rather. So you want to have a little bit of fun?
Sure, why not? I'm all for it.
Okay, great. It's not going to be too hard. It's just fun stuff, okay?
Cool.
So, Chris, would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef?
I think I'm taking a chef because why not? I like food, and so why not? So I think I'm taking that chef.
Okay, the chef. And I guess you must be doing a lot of the house cleaning then, right?
I mean, like, can we talk to the maid? I mean, like, maybe have them come in a little bit, you know?
See,
Like,
there's those negotiation skills
yeah,
popping up,
we
right?
gotta negotiate, you know? I mean, like, can I get one part-time, one, full-time? I don't know.
I love it. I love it. So, the next one is, would you rather have $1 million now or $5,000 a week for the rest of your life?
I'm taking that 5,000. Definitely taking that 5,000. Yeah,
Okay.
because you could flip that. There's a lot you can do with it, and I know it's coming back. So yeah, I'm taking that 5,000.
Okay, great. And so now, would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life?
Um, I think I think everything that I've been through, has let me learn to where I am now. So I wouldn't say rewind. I would probably take the pause, and then I could really catch up and do everything. So I would say I'll take the pause.
Okay, take the pause.
Yeah.
And so now, would you rather get trapped in the middle of a food fight or a water balloon fight?
Hmm. I think I'm gonna jump in the water balloon fight so I could catch a balloon and throw it at somebody, something like that. I think I'll take the water balloon fight.
Okay, the water balloon fight.
Yeah, I don't want to
Okay,
get hit with a
great.
sandwich.
Yeah, that could get well. At least with the water, you can dry off pretty quickly. A
Yeah,
little bit of mayonnaise and stuff like that. Now you got to
yeah, I don't want mayonnaise. I don't think I want that. I mean, like, I wouldn't be hungry, but
Oh, goodness. Okay. And so this is the last one, Chris. So would you rather stay the age you are physically right now forever or stay the way you are financially forever?
mm, I would like to see, my finances continue to grow, right? So, I'm gonna stay this age physically, I still like to be active. So yeah, I'll take the physically.
You'll take the physical. Okay, so
Yes.
I'm seeing a little trend here. I want to be the same age, but making $5,000 a week for the
I
rest of my
like,
life.
listen, yeah, there we go. For the rest of my life, I want that long life with $5,000.
With a personal chef
Yeah.
negotiating for a maid.
I mean, if I get 5,000 a week, I could afford the maid. I could talk to them, and now it's a real conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Chris, I hope this has been at least a little bit of fun for
It
you, as
has, it
well
definitely has.
as being able to share some of your story and some of the things that you've learned in building Grades for Life. But so before we get ready to wrap up, is there anything that you would like to be able to share with our residents of East Orange, or even specifically talking to the youth?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, so just to reiterate, what we do at Grades for Life, we have a rewards program that works with the local community to encourage youth towards good grades, good behavior, by providing points, discounts, prizes, things like that. That's one of the things we do along with the entrepreneurship. So it's really a combined effort. We know it takes a village. So just, I guess I want to leave out there that we'd love to continue to work with you. Feel free, we're Grades for Life. We'd love to work with you all and build with you, because it's all about community.
All right, then. Well, thank you again. We have been spending time in a conversation with Chris Johnson, who is the president and CEO of Grades for Life, talking about the topic: nonprofits are businesses too. And I'm sure that all of our viewers have heard exactly some of the things that it has taken for you to be able to build this business to this point. Some of your goals and dreams for the future, and also being able to continually commit to strengthening the community and its youth.
All right. Thank you.
So this wraps up another edition of Spotlight on East Orange Business. Thank you all so much for joining us on this edition. Spotlight on East Orange Business is a business and community affairs program. I am Anna Banks, your host. And this program is sponsored by Thrive Leadership Institute in collaboration with the East Orange Business Association. We are aired every Tuesday on Facebook, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you are a business or a professional providing services to the residents here in East Orange, New Jersey, and you would like to be a guest on Spotlight on East Orange Business, please send an email to me at hello@thriveleadershipinstitute.com. That is hello@thriveleadershipinstitute.com. And we will see you again next week when we will have a very special guest. We will be interviewing the mayor of East Orange, New Jersey, Mayor Ted Green. Well, he will be talking about his plans for the small business community here in East Orange. So be sure to tune in. This is Anna Banks signing off for this evening, saying good night and God bless.
Good night.